I'm sitting out here in the rain with Reverend Mines. She has a few things she would like to say, and after that, I have a few things I'd like to ask her. Reverend Mines, it's all yours.
Alrighty. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be back with you again. I hope that you will all tune in and listen to what I have to say, and also contribute your ideas and your opinions on this issue. I am Reverend Robin Mines. I am the president of the Whole Street Midlothian Civic Association, a part of the 5th District, Richmond, Virginia, and I am currently volunteering and serving with the Councilwoman Stephanie Lynch. I hope that you are all staying safe out there, and I hope that you're staying aware of what's going on and keeping up with all the information that is pertinent to your safety. We are at a critical point of this COVID-19 pandemic that has disrupted our daily life and that has exposed long-standing ruptures in our social fabric. Gross failure of our federal government to respond boldly in real time to save lives and the economy. So the question is, what can the city of Richmond do to repair these ruptures locally while moving our economy toward a greater equity? We must first think globally, framing the crisis as a simplistic trade-off between economic well-being and public health. The nations that are positioned to reopen acted early and aggressively to implement health measures to contain the virus because life is the most important factor. They also have strong social democratic tradition of economic solidarity and supporting the needs of all residents. Here in the United States, we lack the mass testing needed to responsibly reopen the economy. Therefore, it may take weeks, months, and even all of 2020 before we can lift the shutdown. This is why a robust system of economic support for workers and businesses impacted by the shutdown needs to be put in place. We must be sure unemployment insurance is expanded and that many Americans receive the $1,200 stimulus checks. Small businesses have been left to scramble in hope of getting loan support from the forthcoming second round of the Paycheck Protection Program. The federal response to date is simply inadequate to stave off massive unemployment, bankruptcies, and for too many desperate uncertainty. In the UK, workers are getting as much as 80% of their income protected for 3 months, with the likely future of extensions. Similar steps have been taken throughout Western Europe, and in some cases, coupled with guarantees workers will keep their jobs. Policies where public health measures can stay in place without throwing a large segment of the population into poverty or destroying businesses on a massive scale. There is no inherent reason America could not employ a similar strategy. The collapse of the American economy and the stunningly rapid rise in unemployment and dire needs is not a necessary outcome of the shutdown. It's a political choice rooted in decades of anti-government rhetoric and the inability most American political leaders imagine an ambitious program that uses the tools of government to address immediate medical needs and ensure economic survival. We need a bold policy response, not only to address the immediate crisis of health and economics, but we must steer in the direction of a more equitable society, where there would be no tolerance for rampant childhood poverty or unconscionable racial disparity. Healthcare and housing will be treated as rights rather than privileges, proving that we truly are all in this together and not just to survive to go back to the same old practices. Much of what is needed to be done must be handled at the federal level. However, state and local governments also have tools and possibilities for taking bold steps. We would love for Richmond to become a national leader in responding to the crisis in ways that move our city forward toward much greater social economics and inclusion. Thank God we did not get caught up in the Navy Hill project. A couple of recommendations have been made to build urgently needed low-income housing units as they scale as quickly as possible, employing local firms that hire local residents at good wages, organized where possible as worker cooperatives or social enterprises. An approach that could meet the city's severe need for low-income housing while creating good jobs and spreading wealth. I suggest mixed-income housing to combat our segregation issue, which seems to be the desire of this city when you look at all the housing that is being developed currently. Permanent waiver fares for GRTC riders. Broaden our fair transit rather than wasting efforts enforcing fares that punish city residents who will use public transportation to get to and from work once the economy reopens. We need to redouble efforts to connect residents to good jobs through initiatives like our community wealth building program. Richmond must devise a serious plan for educational reparations for the 25,000 Richmond school children who have missed a third of the academic year and possibly out much longer, giving them a 6-month consecutive loss of school hours. The schooling gap has the potential to cause permanent harm to our children. Local leaders should craft such plans and then demand the state and federal government fund it. We are all inspired by the courageous efforts of all the folk on the front lines battling this virus in our hospitals, clinics, nursing facilities, etc. For all the essential workers risking their lives in order that we will benefit from necessary services. However, I am very disappointed mostly in those who lead congregations to unsafe practices to serve their agenda, because it is not about serving God. When you lead others to live recklessly, putting their lives and the lives of others at risk. I am very disappointed in the folks in our community who are acting as though there is nothing going on, hanging out socializing as they please, no protective gear, no social distancing, to continue to go to each other's homes, getting hair done, and whatever else is going on. We cannot afford to live like this, people. As I stated in a message before, freedom does not mean that you get to go out and do whatever you please and to act any kind of way and to live any kind of way regardless of how you affect others. That is not freedom. What freedom means for us. Freedom for us means that we have the opportunity to take advantages of the advantages that are afforded to us in this society. It means that you have to follow certain rules. And when you don't follow those rules, you can't go and cry about the injustice when you go to court. Think about what you're doing, people. Think about one another. Let's love one another. Let's love ourselves. We have to come together in our communities. I am also asking churches, as I have done years ago, to follow the example of Ralph Hodge at Second Baptist, where they have an awesome garden of crops to feed the people. We have many churches throughout our city and country that have pristine lawns. What are they for? To look at? Now we're coming upon a food crisis. Okay? If churches were already working together and developed, have farms going, we would not have to worry because we'd be able to feed one another. Let's wake up, America. Let's wake up, Richmond. We also just witnessed the NFL draft, and I saw some very disturbing comments. Instead of us being proud and happy for our young men, people decided to pick on the fact that some of the black men had white girlfriends. Well, isn't that their personal business? Are they dating you? Were they dating you? Do you know any of these individuals at all? Did you even regard the stories and the backgrounds that these young men came from and the hard work that they put in? Let's be happy for them and stop putting chains on people, telling them who to love and what to do with their own personal lives. Let's look at our own lives and see how we can be better on the other side of COVID-19. God bless you all. Thank you.